Simon, I'm sure you've experienced things before, live, crazy stuff happening. How does this make you feel right now?
Well, I'm kind of imagining this would be like Mel B's wedding night. A lot of
Mel B, otherwise known as Melanie Brown, having a little fun there on the set of America's Got Talent. A new live show will air in just a few hours from now. Many people are wondering if Brown will be in attendance after she admitted that she's actually heading to rehab. Brown told the British newspaper The Sun that she is going to seek treatment for alcohol and sex addiction. She also said she's going to be treated for PTSD. Brown said, quote, "I'm being very honest about drinking to numb my pain, but that is just a way a lot of people mask what is really going on. The problem has never been about sex or alcohol. It is underneath all that." Brown went through a nasty divorce recently with her ex-husband, Stephen Belafonte, who she accused of abuse. A court settlement dismissed her claims against him. However, she has been working on a memoir about their marriage, and she calls the process unbelievably traumatic. Joining me now, psychotherapist Lisa Palmer, the founder and clinical director of the RenewMe Center of Florida. Thank you so much for being here to talk about this, Lisa, because I think, you know, we hear PTSD and people will erroneously believe that this is somebody, perhaps a soldier that's returned from war, that they're the only types of people that have got, maybe if you survived a terrible accident. But sometimes in a domestic abuse situation, people are equally traumatized. Talk about that a little bit.
Definitely, Michaela. Thanks for having me on the show. There's a lot of misconceptions about PTSD, like you said, that it's associated with, you know, you've been in a war or you've had something seriously traumatic happen, like an accident. But actually, PTSD is quite common, and people experience it all the time. Divorce, a loss of a job, grief and loss, injuries, all can result in PTSD.
Well, and the other thing that I've learned about trauma is that it is cumulative, and we are destined to feel the effects of it if we don't deal with it.
Absolutely. A lot of people have side effects that they don't recognize are PTSD side effects: anxiety, depression, insomnia, fear is very common. A lot of people are definitely suffering with PTSD, and they're just really treating the symptoms of the PTSD without actually getting to the core root of the issues, which is really you have to re-imprint the memories, which are processed very differently when you have a trauma than during regular time. So a lot of people get actually stuck and frozen in their traumas, in that fight, flight, or freeze response, and so they're reacting out of that place even though time has moved on.
It's interesting because in the case of Mel B, she talks about the fact that she's writing this memoir. For many people, that can be such a cathartic experience, but I can imagine if not handled properly or carefully, it could also be incredibly triggering.
Absolutely, because people have a tendency all the time to relive their memories, and we want to help them to revisit them through the right help. They can actually revisit without reliving. So I would imagine with her writing her trauma and going through every single detail of that just triggered her and triggered all the different flashback memories and body memories and everything that she was experiencing at the time of the trauma. And I think it's so wonderful that she's actually coming out with this to try to get the help that she needs, because as we know, so many celebrities don't get the help and they don't end up in such a good place.
Well, and she's also providing a good word for those of us at home that are battling our own quiet, private battles that may not have the wherewithal to put a hand up and say, I need some help, and to know it's okay, you're not alone, there's help there, and you can get through this. Lisa Palmer, you are exquisite. I would love to talk to you about this again. Thank you so much for your time and your wonderful wisdom.
Thanks for having me on the show.
Be well. If you think